Okay. Hi, I'm Jennifer. So I did the experiment with the pH balance indicator, boiled the cabbage, made my apartment smell super bad, so that's cool. And I'll just show you real quick. Let's see, I did 2, 4, 6. I did 6 different things, and I'll show you what the color water looks like. So let's see. The first one is isopropyl alcohol. You can see here, it's pretty blue in nature. Then I had some pickle juice and pink, but I mean, also the pickle juice itself is kind of yellowy, so I'm not really sure what might be happening there. Apple cider vinegar, pretty pink. Um, just the regular water, purpley blue. Um, Baking soda, it's kind of a bluish green color. And then this was salt water, and that came out pretty blue too. And then the second part, here was the regular water with just the indicator stuff in it. And then here's the one that I blew bubbles. And I mean, it's hard to tell in this lighting, but it's significantly more pink. And the more I blew on it, the more pink it got. Um, okay, so to answer the 2 questions, so I would explain the process of ocean acidification as the burning of fossil fuels. And so, what we're doing is, as we're increasing the burning of fossil fuels, that leads to an increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. And that carbon dioxide doesn't go nowhere, it goes somewhere. And 25 to 30%, it depended on the video, is absorbed by the ocean. And here, the carbon dioxide reacts with the water. CO2 reacts with the H2O, and it forms carbonic acid, which releases hydrogen ions, which leads to it. So, as this process is happening with increased fossil fuels leading to increased carbon dioxide, leading to increased carbonic acid, leads to increased hydrogen ions, and that increase of hydrogen ions is what lowers the pH and then makes something more acidic. So that is ocean acidification. Am I concerned? Why or why not? And to give some examples. So I really don't understand anybody who would not be concerned. So I am concerned, yes. So first, in the first video from the NOAA research, it was talking, and it was also confirmed by the TED Talk that Ms. McGrath had, was talking first and foremost about the pteropod shells and the experiments that are done, and they're showing that when they put these shells in projected higher acidic, lower pH leveled waters to simulate what the ocean waters could be like in the year 2100, they are finding that the shells are like almost like practically dissolving the worse it gets. So, due to a lack of carbonate ions, which are needed in order to make the shells and the exoskeletons. So not only are these little creatures not able to create strong exoskeletons and shells, in some cases they're finding that they're completely dissolving. So like not only is it going to dissolve what already exists, but it's like incapable of making more. So that's scary. And so that leads into the also the NOAA research, which showed between 1991 and 2005 that the shell mineral decreased more rapidly in shallow waters. And it's in those shallower waters that the bulk of ocean productivity is taking place. So there could be a large economic impact, food source impact. And Ms. McGrath also in her TED Talk talked about how the coral reefs specifically support 25% of all marine life, which I had no clue about that. Like you hear about the coral reefs and needing to save them, but to actually hear that number was astounding to me. And then obviously those reefs, for the same reasons that like the corals and pteropods, etc., can't form and are the ones that are formed are dying. And I guess being from Wyoming, it can be easy not to think about it, but I just recently moved to Oregon. And so, obviously, like I'm in Portland. And so I'm really like, it's a water culture out here. And we went whale watching, up in off the islands of Washington State a few months back. And long story short, she was explaining to us that humans had overfished salmon for so long in this area of the country that we ended up losing orcas to that as because we took away their food source, right? I mean, there's other reasons why the orcas died, but let's just use this one example. And so then what we were able to do was change the way that we fished the salmon and start to rebuild the population of the orcas in this region of the country. I got to see some pretty cool. But anyway, point being, like, we could stop that from happening by changing our fishing habits. So I think that would go to show that if we change our habits surrounding other things, but here's my concern is that like the fish could come back. This coral and these resources, if the waters get too bad in the ocean, I don't know if they can come back from that. So it's very concerning. Okay, so I am Jennifer and I'll be signing off.